Hello, you're watching The Market Bull. I'm Sarah Powell, and joining me from Power Metal Resources is CEO Sean Wade. Sean, welcome back. It's great to be speaking with you again. We've seen the recent announcement regarding the commencement of drilling at the Molopo Farms complex. This must be very welcome news for investors, I'm sure. Can you tell us more about this and perhaps give some further detail on the drill campaign itself in terms of depth, duration and the type of drilling?
Good morning, Sarah. Thank you very much for having me again. Yes, look, it's a really exciting announcement for us. It's been a little while coming. I appreciate that. But there's a very good reason for that, which is that Molopo is potentially, as we all know, huge in terms of a district scale discovery, and that's obviously what we are and have been for a while aiming at. And what we are trying to achieve with this program is exactly that. Is this the district scale discovery that we fully believe that the project is capable of. Now, drilling, particularly in this area where you've got a lot of sand cover and very little geological outcropping and so on, means that it means two things essentially. It means one, that the drilling itself is difficult, it's expensive, and it has to go through a lot of cover. We'll come on to the depths in a moment. The other thing is that because of the lack of other obvious geological features, you're very, very heavily dependent on geophysical interpretation and magnetic surveys, which obviously identify conductors. So in order to maximize the opportunity and undertake the program in the most cost-effective manner, which is obviously our policy, we have to de-risk it as much as we possibly can. And that's why we've taken time to do detailed desktop analytics on the data that we've achieved through the first two drill programs, and obviously the geophysical analysis and work we've undertaken since then. Okay, and that has given us as much confidence as we can have that we're in the right place, that we've identified the most exciting conductor to date, and that we've got a great chance, we think, to make the discovery that obviously we all want. So in terms of the program itself, you're talking about 800 meters of depth. So very substantial diamond drill program. Now these take a bit of time, and assuming that we don't encounter problems, which obviously you can't rule out, a single hole, the guidance I would say is probably around sort of 6 weeks to mobilize, get the drill done, get the cores out. So it's a pretty it's a big campaign, and then once you've done that and achieved the cores, that will probably be I would suggest an 8-week process of laboratory analysis. Now, that doesn't mean obviously that in the meantime the geos on site can't get some sort of visual read on the cores, and depending on what that achieves will obviously inform how the program sort of iterates, if you like, over time. So we're going to start with the hole at the T114 conductor that we've talked about, and we're going to progress that, see how we get on, and that will inform the overall scale of the program and so on. I mean, look, it would be great to drill dozens of holes, and that's what the the majors would do. We've got to be targeted and cost effective over it, so we're going to this is how we're going to do it. And I think that as I said, we've built as much confidence as we can that we're in the right place.
Thanks, Sean. It's great to hear those other details. So how do you think the drill campaign might advance the potential joint venture discussions you've previously mentioned?
Ultimately, let's speak purely hypothetically, and of course it's very important not to raise expectations too highly. Okay, the important thing about this conductor is that it is in an extremely favourable geological setting. So obviously it's not just a conductor. Clearly it's a conductor that sits within an area where you would expect to find accumulations of nickel sulfides and what's called a mafic and ultramafic complex. So that's what gives us confidence that we're in the right place. And of course, if we are, and we do drill it, then what we're talking about here purely and simply is a discovery. Okay, now that in itself is extremely exciting, and I think if we are in discovery territory, and again, really important that we don't go ahead of ourselves. We're going to do the drilling, we're going to find out. But if it is successful, and that's what we end up with, then the next stage for that, what would be, I would suggest, a district scale asset. The next stage for that is going to be a development phase where you're going to have to think about proving out a resource, and going on to all of those sort of further steps that go up the value curve, and of course that's going to be expensive, and it's going to be a lot of drills and all the associated work, and that's when you're going to need a major strategic joint venture partner to come in and help do that. Now, it has been our intention to achieve that up to this point, and obviously we've done a lot of work here, and we have got fantastic data, and we still are in conversations with people about that. But I can't say to shareholders that I've found the deal that I want, because we'd have done that by now. So what we're doing is de-risking the project further to not just forward those discussions, but to build more value for us and for our shareholders in the project. I mean, putting it quite simply, we could probably sell this asset on the basis of the work that we've done. If we do a bit more work, the incremental capital that we spend and the returns we could make on that incremental capital are enormous if we were to make the discovery. So it's a simple business decision to say, look, will we have a better chance of getting a great deal for shareholders as opposed to a deal for shareholders if we do this extra work and we build our knowledge to the extent of a discovery? Absolutely. Okay, so that's why we're doing it, and as I said, we're confident that we're in the right place, and what remains to be seen is if we can achieve that. So without getting carried away with it, I think this is probably the most exciting thing that that is going on in the company at the moment, because it is a genuine, proper exploration program in a great location, on what we believe to be a fantastic opportunity.
Absolutely, we can certainly see the potential and wish you well with progressing the drill campaign phase. So the Molopo announcement comes hot off the heels of the uranium-focused uranium energy exploration pre-IPO financing. Can you summarise this announcement?
Yes, well, thank you for asking. I mean, this again, this is also very exciting for us. And actually, what I've been saying to a few people is, these two announcements coming so closely together actually is quite a nice illustration of what Power Metal is all about. On the one hand, you've got a high priority drilling exploration program, which is obviously the day job, if you see what I mean. And on the other hand, you've got a really nice value-added piece of essentially corporate finance activity, which is unlocking value in the portfolio through what we would call the incubator model or merchant banking model, which is also adding tremendous value for shareholders. So the two main elements of what we do really going forward positively at the same time, which is, I think, is hopefully what I believe is driving momentum in our shares at the moment, which is obviously great to see. So the UEE transaction, this is important to understand. This is a pre-IPO financing. So this is not the IPO itself. This is not actually the listing. This is bringing some cash into the shell company and into that business so that we can fund obviously some of the listing costs and sort of other corporate expenses to get that business in the right place for an IPO listing on AIM in all likelihood, or recognised under the exchange certainly in the new year, and that process is underway. So we've talked about our intentions there, and people have got a little bit of information, I think, on the shape of the business. There'll be more to come between now and the IPO in terms of exactly how that business is going to be configured. But this is essentially bringing in some capital from some strategic shareholders who obviously really back the uranium story and want to support this business and taking it into an IPO. So it's a very exciting development, and we're very confident that it's going to be one of the things, first things we do in the new year is going to be to get that IPO underway.
Well, thank you, Sean, and congratulations on this pre-IPO, especially given the challenging market conditions. So do you think we could potentially see possibly two spin-out IPOs listing on the London markets in early 2024, those being uranium energy exploration and First Development Resources?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, look, I think we said in a recent update, Tristan put an update out talking about the CELTA project and the greater understanding that we're developing there. That is a fantastic collection of assets, and I think people are pretty familiar with what we're talking about there, which is the Paterson region in Western Australia and the Northern Territory. With the Javieron style bullseye anomaly in the Paterson, which I know, in terms of exploration potential is extremely exciting. The opportunity even for some uranium, some rare earths. Obviously the copper and gold in the Western Australia as well, but lithium, all sorts. I mean, it's there's a whole lot of different opportunity for first development, but it's been a difficult market. We've marketed this very aggressively. Tristan has done an amazing job developing the business to the point that where we can IPO it. But these markets really have been tough for early stage exploration, so we're looking at all the ways we can to increase the value and to further our understanding to get that IPO away. And I'm very confident that we are on the right track, that we're making great progress, that we're having extremely positive conversations, and that we can look to get that one away as early as we can in the new year. We've got a great team in place. We've got an excellent board, and in Tristan, obviously, we've got one of the most passionate market-facing geologists I think you're ever going to see. He absolutely loves what he does, and he's extremely good at it. So we're supporting him and the team as ever, and really looking forward to getting that business up and running in the new year, as I say. So yes, those two are the two priority spin-out opportunities, two IPOs, UEE and FDR, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you in the new year about the progress on both of them.
Thanks, Sean. And in addition to the good news this week, the share price seems to be responding positively. All things combined surely suggest that 2024 will be a busy year for the company.
This year has been difficult, I think, for shareholders certainly in share price terms. But we have achieved, a lot of success. If you look at, what's actually been done, in terms of, exploration, in terms of obviously, being able to raise some capital, and most importantly, being able to list Gold Metal Resources, which is performing extremely well, both as a business but also in terms of the share price. So, it's been a busy year operationally, and we carry on doing what we're paid for, which is to do exploration and to unlock the value in the portfolio. And as I've always said, if we do those things and we make sure that we're marketing effectively and that we're getting our message out, that the share price will ultimately take care of itself. And I think that I'm pleased to see it's been moving. Obviously, we're very conscious of it, and we're very keen to deliver returns to shareholders. So it's great to see some action in the price, and I'm very confident that, as I say, when we carry on delivering, Molopo, UEE, FDR, Tartu, which we're going to be talking about soon in terms of exploration results there, and all the other aspects to the portfolio. And in the Saudi Arabia and Oman opportunity, which we'll be talking about at the Future Minerals Forum in January, all of these opportunities that we have, I think, to add value is adding up to an extremely busy and hopefully very prosperous year, 2024.
Well, thank you for the update. It's great to see a real positive end to the year, and we wish you and all the Power Metals team a happy Christmas, and we certainly look forward to hearing more updates in the new year.
Brilliant. Thanks, Sarah. Merry Christmas to you too.